So I have a broader fantasy, like, fiction audience. So everybody is welcome in to maybe start off the discussion. Always gotta make sure the hair is right. Mm. Hey Siri, set timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Counting down.
Mm. Hey Yolanda G. Hey, sup Roblox kid. I know it's been a while. What's up with you? I do. Nicotine gum. I'm trying to quit. You'll notice though that I did not chew gum during the reading of my poems. It's an important distinction. It has been a while, Roblox kid. How are you doing? How's the YouTube going? Good. It is good. Yeah, you want to quit. What? That does sound a little weird, Roblox kid. I'm not gonna lie. Rebecca Gumer, welcome in. I usually like to read people's. If it's okay with you, Rebecca, I'm gonna read out your bio. But this is Rebecca. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome, Rebecca Gumer. I write about faith and spirituality, grief and loss, sometime foodiness. Also playing with a serialized mystery novel. Work appears in Time, the Boston Globe, NY Times, HuffPost, Oprah Daily, and elsewhere. Well, welcome into the chat. If at any point you would like to come up, maybe talk about your work, you're welcome to. If not, my lives have an open door policy. You know, we come and go. I'm the author of EFL the Bastard, which you can currently find serialized here on Substack. Hey, Jessica Nettles, welcome in. Jessica Nettles is an author, tabletop gamer, nerd, and human in training. Historical, fantasy, horror, Southern peculiarities. Wow, let me give you a follow because I live in the South of the United States. Do you have anything? What are you working on, Jessica? This is just an open ended kind of live where we're talking about um, we're just talking about genre fiction on Substack, where or authors of genre fiction on Substack. Just trying to build connections, network a little bit. I can do some readings if people don't really want to. I come from the corporate world, and I'm getting ready for a haircut here this afternoon, so I appreciate it. But I love to have these at regular points where people can just kind of talk about. So I'm working on a book called AFL the Bastard. It's the story of the illegitimate son of a powerful duke who has to fight against enemies inside and out um, to protect the country that he loves, all while guarding a secret so dark it would destroy everything that he loves. Now, Substack has not worked out for me personally on the serialized fiction front, but I would love to hear more about the serialized fiction part of it. See, who are some other cool people? Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and invite you up. You don't have to turn on your camera. No camera required. And if you cannot accept the invitation, take a note. It may be because you have a global setting set in your kind of global settings in your notifications section. So in the notifications section, you can disable all live videos. So just bear that, keep that in mind. You're still welcome. I just want to, it's not a by the way, it's not a Substack live until something goes wrong, right? Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being so game.
Yeah. Well, it's my first time doing it, so why not jump in? It's morning and I've been sick, so this is it. But yeah, I thought I could offer a few notions about the serializing that I've been doing. Excuse me.
Well, the floor is yours. How would you quickly introduce yourself and then feel free to jump into serialization?
Sure. So I'm Rebecca Gamir. I live in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. And mostly I'm an essayist, and I just finished a memoir that I've been trying to get. I'm trying to go the traditional route with it. So, and the memoir was about a 8-month cross country trip I took after. I'm a former Lutheran pastor, and
Wow.
faith kind of hit the wall, but I'm just like searching. So that was back in 2017, and wrote a memoir about that. In the meantime, so it was about 2022, and I was living in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the time. And back when I was a pastor, I wrote this mystery novel with a hospital chaplain as the main character. And in truth, it was a little bit my way of dealing with some church tensions that we were having. I called it my sideways door. So I'd come home from a church meeting.
Real quick, if I can just,
Yeah.
I want to turn it way back over to you, but I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. I love to make these as interactive as possible. So if you have a question, pop it in, especially if it pertains to serializing fiction on Substack and hey, Noble Blend. But sorry, I don't want to monopolize the conversation. Back over to you. I may just interrupt you from time to time if there's a particularly good question.
Sure. So it was 2022, and I just had become aware of Substack. And honestly, I started the serialization. So again, I had finished this book, really rough draft back in 2002, but I thought, well, as a pastor, I can't really get this published. But I've always loved the mystery genre, loved it since I was a kid. I mean, I think I was 10 years old, and I was with my parents, and we were stranded on a train trip in the Alps. I mean, it was a crazy story. But I remember my mom had an Earl Stanley Gardner. I think it was called The Green-Eyed Sister. And I was like, do you mind if I read that? Because I was a voracious reader. And amazingly, she gave it to me, and that I was hooked just with the whole noir and mystery and that kind of thing. And so trying my hand at it, set it aside for however many years, but it never let me go. And I really appreciated the characters who had sort of come to me, and wanted to honor that in some way. So as a way of learning about Substack, I decided to start serializing it, and it's gone way off the rails because it's as I'm putting up chapters, I'm also revising, right? It's been however many years. New characters show up, all kinds of. So I'm trying to hold on to this wild ride, and I'm way behind in posting, but I think the main thing it's done for me is, again, teach me a little bit how to use Substack.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, grow along with the evolutions that have been happening, and of course the massive platform it's now become for all kinds of publications. So the other thing that I do, I started a sort of section that I called the Treehouse Conversations About God, because I
Okay.
talked to a whole lot of people who are sort of in between. I don't believe this, but I feel something. I'm searching, and for me, as I said, a
Back to
former pastor,
That Lutheran, you know,
yeah,
upbringing.
yeah, um, and feeling like I mean, the tagline for my memoir is "An agnostic ex-pastor on the hunt for God in a small van with two big dogs. What could go wrong?"
There you
Um,
go.
but agnostic means I don't know. It doesn't mean I don't believe. It just means I don't know, and I'm not as sure as I used to be about anything.
Yeah, no, coin Greek, a is without,
Mhm,
gnosos, knowledge, without knowledge. That's how I
right.
describe myself.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And I think more and more people do. Um, so anyway, that's been a place for me to kind of say, well, I know what I don't believe. What do I believe? And to be in conversation with people about that. So I don't know that you had mentioned uh, not feeling that the serialization had been wildly successful, and I don't know that I would say, however you quote
Yeah.
success, but of course,
I would love to be proved wrong. I'm not here
yeah,
to I'm a proponent of fiction on Substack, and I am someone who um I would love to see it work. Even if it's not me, I
yeah,
celebrate the
yeah.
success, and I'm glad that you're able to find success.
And I'll just say, for people listening, and then I'll kind of hush up and let somebody else talk. Um, I decided to approach it as play. I decided to keep it low stakes. It's for me to learn. It's for people who are mystery lovers if they want to hop in and check it out. But I don't. The only thing that I put behind a paywall now on my site is um, any commenting on
Mhm.
the treehouse, because I've learned that people can be pretty snarky and downright mean about faith kinds of things. And what I wanted to do was to create a place where people could safely have conversations. So, if I said, if you're going to come on and tell me I'm going to hell, I'm going to make you pay to do it. So,
I noticed a
um,
strong strain of religious writers. I, as a fantasy author, am more focused on the fantasy side, and maybe it's just a fantasy quirk, but there's a lot of overlap between Christianity, at least, and Substack. And maybe that's something you want to talk to, maybe not. I don't want to open you up to any areas that you're not comfortable talking about. But I'd be interested to hear it. If not, we can jump back in and see if there's anybody else who'd like to come up. But
yeah,
I'd love it if I think we don't have any questions yet, so I'm happy to let you
yeah.
continue.
Well, I don't know that I can speak. I mean, Substack has just gotten to be such a massive universe that I'm not even sure. I kind of look at my corner. I have the people that I engage with pretty regularly, which is a whole lot of memoir writers.
Mhm.
Um,
And Substack
and
is a great place for memoirs. It really
yeah,
is.
I think so too. I think so too. But it's also a great community for writers, I think.
Oh, and
But
everybody pick up Bathrobe Guy. Bathrobe Guy, despite his whimsical name, I am currently serializing a gothic romance psychological horror called
cool.
Lockwood, The Quiet Hunger. So Lockwood, the Quiet Hunger. Bathrobe Guy is also a poet. We had a live poetry reading the other day, and very talented, if I may. And it's published right here on Substack, as is mine. So sorry about the interruption, but just a
Nope.
quick plug for some of the people on the call.
Yeah. 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 Um, that sounds awesome. Yeah, so I don't know if I can speak to. I'm finding more and more writers on Substack who are writing about that in between of faith, or who are writing about spiritual things or searching. And I think that's so exciting, because I feel like we are we are in new territory, where, for me, I'll speak for myself, but I'm seeing more and more people who want to be out beyond the old definitions and maybe I think in images. So I think about even coming outside of a structure and into the open, and carrying, that hunger to connect with, I call it capital S, somebody, someone, but
Would you say
also
it's
with a,
a brave new world?
oh, I hope not, but it
I hope
probably,
not either.
but
Real
yeah.
real quick, if you want to continue with your stuff, but Noble Blend has a question. Is it hard working in time constraints, having to get a new section out every week?
I don't do a new section every week. I'm bad about that. And I think if I were more consistent, I'm not sure if I were more consistent, because for me, I'm writing in several different areas and I don't want to overwhelm people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I subscribe to a number of different Substacks and I can't read them all. So, but I was thinking today, because I am going to be talking to a podcaster who, it's a brand new podcast called Ye Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's really cool. His first interview was Martin Short, and it's really good.
Well, that
But
when and where can we find that?
if you look, I think anywhere that there are podcasts, Apple, you can look, and it's just called Ye Gods. It's Scott, and can't remember his last name, and it's my
I come
brain
from
is
12 years in the corporate sales world, if it hasn't already become apparent. So I'm always trying to, if I'm going to plug my stuff, I want to make sure that I'm at least bringing up some other people too.
yeah,
And so,
yeah,
yeah, make sure to share.
and yeah, and I'm glad that you do that. After I left church, and I left my third and last call. I was 14 years as a Lutheran pastor, and I left ministry and I left church entirely. And then I worked for the next 7 years for our rural county's domestic violence and rape crisis agency. So I'm with you. It's like you're always thinking about connecting. You want to make those connections for people and promoting, and I think that matters a lot. So anyway, I'm going to start getting into a coughing thing because I've had whatever this body crud is. But thank you for letting me come on. And
Okay, yeah. Thank you for being open to coming on.
sure. And I value the community that we're building in our, our little areas. So thank you for doing that.
I do too. Any closing words, Rebecca? I didn't want to talk over you too much.
Not, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. If anybody has any questions, but the name of my newsletter is Mystery, Memoir, and Meaning.
All right, guys.
Um,
Mystery, memoir, and meaning.
so and you certainly can hop on there and send any questions in a direct message to me. But I love the experimentation here, and I love the sense of community, and I hope everybody has a good Saturday.
Yes, you too. Thank you, Rebecca.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you again, Rebecca, for joining the live. Consistency is hard for me too. I struggle with consistency. I have, let's say, like about 50,000 words published, but I'm not going with to me, it's a more sprawling fantasy book. So I'm trying to turn my following on Substack into more focused on what up here. It might be on this side, it might be on the other side, but it's a publication called Away with Words. Away with Words. And it started as a poetry kind of section, but I want to be more of a general kind of guy. But I am admittedly leaning a little bit on my audience that I had as EFL the Bastard when I was publishing that in a serialized format over up in there. But yeah, hey, anyone else? This live is going to end in no, not 15 minutes, but it's going to end at the latest at 11:45 Eastern time. 11:45 Eastern time. So just letting you know that. But I have some things I can talk about, but I would love to have anyone who is in the fantasy genre fiction space or something come on up. But I'll keep sharing and seeing if there's somebody who wants to come on. We can do poetry. We've read poetry on these before. Or should I not? No, there you go. No. Hey, and I don't mean to pressure anybody to come up. I don't mean to, this is not like a, you can't, we can talk about whatever. I'm a pretty open, you know, I have some well-defined boundaries and stuff, but we can talk about anything. Don't have to be about nothing at all. And I'm still learning Substack lives, the etiquette, the culture. Now, yeah, hop on and do, let's maybe do a poem just so we can see if there's anybody else to do it. But just want to, so confirming you're ready to pop up. You know the drill. I don't want to send you an invite by accident or anything. But if you give me like a confirm or a thumbs up, I'll send an invite your way. And I'll run the chat and you go as many poems as you can go. And then the floor is yours for whatever. All right, here we go. Send in the invite.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, bathrobe guy?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
Just hit 700 subs today, so I'm
what?
chilling. Yeah, yeah. Just hit 700. Like I woke up and I was like, what? Like,
Tell us your
hey,
ways. I mean, poetry is going to be the more important thing. What you want to share is the more important thing. But um, if
I
there's
don't know.
anything you're willing to share, man, how is that happening?
Uh, Consistency, I think, and just being open and honest and raw. I guess. Like, I mean, I've only been on here for 6 months, so
Yeah. Well, I've only been on here since January the 1st. So, like,
crazy that I don't even know how I have this many subs. Frankly, I have no. I mean,
well, that
I'm
is
just
amazing.
putting
I'm
out
glad.
I'm just putting out my heart, like I don't know. I kind of write about everything. I mean, if you've seen my Substack, like I write about physics, I write about grief, happiness, love, peace, short stories, like like the serialization. I did another one. It was like a more of a kid's story, The Mouse, the Hermit, and the Great Road. That uh, I just finished up the last chapter and put that out like a week or two ago. Like I write about everything, kind of. I don't know.
That's been fantastic. Julia Elder says great fiction too. Well, don't let me take over the whole thing. Bathrobe guy, what can you
All right,
maybe,
Julie.
Mary, maybe a
Julie's
poem or something?
yeah. Julie's like my the co-host on the bedtime on the porch podcast that we do with Lisa Joy
Well,
every
very
night
cool.
from 6:30 to 8 Pacific and 9:30 to 11 Eastern. Yeah.
Julie
All right.
Elder
I'm grabbing a
loves
pony.
reading, writing, and avoids arithmetic. Love it.
She's
Mobile
great.
Noble Blend says, I've been here a while, but really just started to focus on here. And I'm not sure how I've gotten the subs that I have too. I think, there's a lot to be said for the fact that Substack is an organically growing platform.
It really
But
is. It really
to
is.
do
And if
that,
you find a niche,
sorry, go ahead.
like if you find your rhythm, like I don't think it's always so much what I write about. It's that I'm consistent and I write in my voice all the time. It's always me. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure either. Like, it's hard to say why I have this many subs at this point. Like, I have no idea really. I just keep writing, just keep doing it.
When something good's happening, don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, just
You
keep
know?
going with that. Like,
Well,
seriously.
let's make sure to get some of your poems in there and or your short stories if they can fit in. But take it away.
Okay, this is called There Is a Reason. There is a reason for the motion, a drive that fuels the pace, a reason for the tears, a promise of love and grace. There is a reason for the struggle, a glance, a kiss, the sun in her hair, a reason for aching, humming, swinging, morning tea in the air. There is a reason for living, bare feet, dancing, a silent breeze, a reason for living, for continuing, for moments like these.
Beautiful. Any
Yeah,
commentary?
just to remember the moments, those good moments.
Very good.
Be in the moment. Yeah.
Very nice. What else have you got to share with us? And if anybody, the floor is open, by the way. If anybody has questions, comments, or wants to share their work, this live is going to end at 11:45. And the floor is open for all kinds of different stuff. If you're here, you're part of the club, I guess, the club. Anyway, but until that time, no take it away, my friend.
Let me see here.
I may
I gotta
interrupt
open
you
a
if
word.
somebody has a particularly cool comment, but I'll try not to.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Um, what do I want here? Oh, this is kind of a cool one.
Go ahead.
It's a little different. This is a little different than I usually write. This is called The Spoon in the Sink. There is always one left behind after the rest have been dried and shelved. Not dirty enough to disgust, not clean enough to forget. It just rests, concave and quiet. A shallow pool catching the day's last drip. No one speaks of the spoon. It isn't dramatic, like a shattered plate, or sharp like a knife's edge, but it holds the tea-stained silence, the mouthful of soup that cooled before it was finished. It knows the weight of purpose, of things almost said, of meals eaten alone, in a house full of voices. I've been that spoon, not broken, not bright, just there, curved enough to hold a little sorrow, a little memory, and the echo of someone who once stirred sugar without speaking.
Very nice. Very nice. No, for real.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, I don't know, just one of those. I don't even know how to describe that one. Just kind of take from it what you will, I guess.
Julie Elder says, "Can we hear a little Lockwood?"
Oh, I would. Okay, I could do that. I could do that. Let's see here. I was actually thinking of reading her. Like I
Oh,
a
shoot.
short
Sorry.
story called Her that I think I think you all would like. It's a psychological horror too. Um,
Go,
It's like one of the very first short stories I read or wrote, actually.
do it. That's awesome. Welcome in. Hey, Robert
It's not.
Kirkpatrick,
It's not.
welcome in.
It's if it
Robert
gets too long,
Kirkpatrick.
just let me know.
Oh, will do. Will
I
do.
don't. It's
Yeah.
not too long though, so it shouldn't be bad. Alrighty then. Let's see. Her. The shadows seemed to flee from the flickering of the approaching torchlight, climbing along the walls like dark specters, seeking a place to hide from the hated luminance. Javen rushed down the tunnel, the torch in his hand sputtering as he ran. He wiped sweat from his forehead, with his free hand leaving behind a smudge of dirt and ash. He could smell the ocean ahead. His mind raced. If the Kanishi caught him, his life was forfeit. His only chance was to make it to the ocean where the vile creatures could not follow. He could hear them gaining on him, their 8 legs carrying them down the tunnel with swift determination. Closer, closer they approached. How far was the ocean? Closer. He could almost feel them upon him. Closer they approached. His heart raced. How far can it be? He asked the gloomy tunnel as if it knew the answer. He could hear their chittering vocalizations now. Closer. His breath came in gasps. Now as his legs began to feel heavy, weights holding him back. Closer. Panic began to rise in him, his mind racing. If he was caught, they would bring him to her. Her. The panic swelled. The torch almost spent, its light sputtering, letting off a pungent black smoke that began to fill his lungs. He struggled to breathe. Dizziness. Then the ocean. Water. Where the wretched pursuers could not follow. His heart began to beat even harder, as if pulling him along the tunnel to the waiting, welcoming arms of the sea. Just a few more steps and freedom. The water enveloped him, the cold coming as sudden shock to his now overheated system. He resisted the instinctual urge to gasp. He could taste the salt of the ocean, feel the comfort of its rolling safety. As he surfaced, he wiped the water running down his face and into his eyes away and looked back at the cliff, where the Kanishi now scuttled about. He could hear them chittering. It was a different pitch now, almost a blend. The pitch now almost blended with the sound of the seagulls overhead. They were worried. They had failed. She would be angry. She would punish them. Gowan, he thought, starting to swim along the coast. Where would he be now? He had to find him, tell him of what was coming. She had held him, kept him, questioned him, hurt him, caressed him, cared for him, tormented him. She was coming, and she was bringing death with her. Had it been 3 years? Everyone must think I'm dead, he thought, as he slowly made his way toward the shoreline ahead. He had no idea where he even was. Kandar said he could be anywhere from here, he said to himself, trying not to swallow any more seawater than he already had. His body ached. His arms and legs felt like lead weights trying to pull him under the lapping waves of the rolling ocean. The bobbing effect seemed to want to lull him to sleep, as if the very ocean itself was conspiring with her to have him, to keep him, to silence him. Exhaustion. Then finally, the sand beneath his feet. He struggled against the waves and shifting sands to get his footing, the waves pushing against him still as if putting in one last effort to keep him for her. The sound of the waves pounding on the shore seemed to match his heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Safety. Jevon collapsed onto the wet, dark sand of the beach, ocean waves still lapping at his feet. He pulled in huge lungfuls of air as he closed his eyes to let his mind and body rest, but no. The moment he closed his eyes, she was there, horrible, beautiful, terrifying, lovely, intoxicating, evil incarnate. Sitting up suddenly, he could not help but let out a scream of panic. Calm, Javen, he told himself. She cannot see you here, he reassured himself, wanting it to be true. There was still time. He had to find Gowan. He must get home. But where was home? Where was he? Then sleep. But even then, she was there, taunting, haunting, alluring, inviting. No, he shouted, waking in a cold sweat. He could feel her hands on him, feel her breath. No, he repeated to himself softly as he began to weep. There was no escape. Hopeless, trapped. There was nowhere to run. These were his thoughts as the sea lapped at his feet as if to say, "Come, she is waiting." He pulled his feet up, wrapping his arms around his knees, tears coming freely. Pain, anguish, love. No. The sheer weight of the enslavement of knowing there is no escape. She is coming. There is nowhere to hide. Even the seagulls overhead seemed to suggest surrender in their ceaseless cries. There was a smell of rain in the air. The sun had begun to set. Where am I? Jevon asked himself, looking around at the cliffs behind him and the shoreline stretching off into the distance, as if they could answer his question. Off in the distance, he could see a small winding path leading off into a mist-shrouded forest. There was a soft breeze kicking up as night began to fall. The relentless lapping of the ocean mixed with the continuous squawking of the seagulls was almost comforting. Almost. Jevon pulled himself to his feet and ran a hand through his wet, ratty hair. He could smell the forest now, as he made his way up the winding path. It had seemed an easier way when he saw it from the beach, but now it seemed at every step there was a large rock waiting to turn an angle or a stray tree root waiting to trip him up. Here, lurking, waiting. He pushed the thoughts out of his mind. He had escaped. He was free. She could not reach him here. Doubt, desperation. Jevon's very soul begged him to run. Flee. She is everywhere. She is nowhere. Help. Jevon jumped, startled by his own exclamation. His heart raced. Had she heard him? Too far away, he reassured himself. Jevon. Terror, shock, panic. He couldn't take it anymore. Heart racing as fast as his legs moved, Jevon plowed ahead, fear driving his every step. Jevon. Came a call again. Was it the creaking of trees? Was it his mind playing tricks on him? She had played with him before, watched him, studied him, allowed him, owned him. There was no escape. Come to me. Die. Not words. Wind. The trees. His imagination, or was it? The darkness had now wrapped its arms around him. Desperation. I cannot stop. She is here. Then suddenly in the dark his foot caught on something. He cried out in desperate surrender. The impact with the unmoved tree trunk finally brought the surrender he had been seeking. And as he felt unconsciousness coming with relief, it was instantly erased. She was there, lurking, waiting. Sleep now, my sweet. I will be here when you wake. He awoke with a start, his heart racing. Had someone called his name? Was it her? Had someone touched him? She was here. Terror, pain. Reaching up, he wiped blood from his forehead, wincing in pain. As he did so, how long had he been here? Had she found him? Jevon peered about, not trusting his eyes. She was everywhere. He knew it. No escape. No, he shouted, the sound coming out hoarse and cracked. Not here. Safe. I made it this far, he reassured himself. She could not have caught me. She could have caught me by now, he continued. Had she let him run? Doubt. I must keep moving, he told himself, rising to his feet. The sun was out now, and the heat of it felt good to him. It was her warmth. The sun seemed only to share it. The thought made him seek the safety of the shady tree. The forest was still, too still. The breeze from the night before was gone, as if the world itself had stopped breathing in anticipation of her. She was coming. Where? Jevon's eyes darted back and forth, searching the forest. There's something, not her, or something red, a tent. Could it be? Safety. Another. Who could it be? Did they know her? Was it her? She had tricked him before, told him things, showed him things that were not true. Was he dreaming? Staggering forward, he dared to call out, hello? Is anyone there? Jevon. He did not jump. He knew her voice. Yet it had been soft this time. Careful, concerned. Turning his heart in his throat, he knew it was her. She had found him. She was there, tall, elegant, beautiful, terrifying. Come, Jevon, she said gently, holding out her hand. We have been here before, she said, her eyes full of sorrow. Why? His pulse quickened. Fear. What could cause her sorrow? Come, she said again, this time barely a whisper. You will see now. His fear was palpable. He could not trust her. We have been here before. Her words haunted him. When? How? Why? Yes, yet she threatened him not. She simply stood with an outstretched hand, waiting. Come, you must see, she repeated. Jiven's heart skipped a beat as he surrendered to her once again. Taking her hand reluctantly, he followed her to the beach. The beach. Gallon. Where? In the water. My boy, can't swim. Panic. He let go of her hand, rushing to the water's edge. Where? He almost begged this very sea itself. There, she said, softly pointing. Gallon, on the beach, looking down at something, crying. What was it? Jevon approached his son. Was it really him after all this time? Was she letting him go? No. She had kept him, had she? She had lied to him. Had she? She wanted to trick him. Did she? Reaching his son's side, he peered down at what had made his child so upset. Shock. Horror. A memorial. Gallon was looking down at a large stone. Jevon Carter, 1978 to 2020, loving husband and father. His sacrifice will not be forgotten. Tears ran freely down his son's young cheeks as he repeated over and over, I'm okay, Dad. I made it. I'm okay. You can go. Camping. They had been camping. Yes, she said, coming up beside him. I have tried to tell you. You had to see. But you wanted me to die, he said, turning on her, his fear gone. You told me to come to you or die, he shouted, pain and anguish mixed with confusion, boiling to the surface, overpowering his fear of her. No, sweet one. I called you to me, telling you you must realize you had died. But all you heard was come to me or die. You have been lost for some time, my child. Come, I will take you home. Understanding. Memory. It had been the camping trip of a lifetime. He and Gallon had swam and fished. They had had the best time of their lives. Then the accident. Gallon had been swimming and got caught in the current. Jevon had saved him, but the exertion had caused his heart to fail. He understood now. She had not been chasing him. She had not been torturing him. It was himself. He could not accept that he had died. He sighed, letting all the fear wash away. Gallon was okay. It saved him. I can go now, he said, almost as an afterthought. Turning, he took her hand again. As they walked off down the beach, he knew all was okay. He was home. Gallon was okay. And there was nowhere he would rather be right now.
That was fantastic. That might be a good point to stop, if that's okay with you, Bathrobe Guy.
That's the end.
Very good. Hey, Wendy Parker, welcome back.
Hi, everybody.
I kind of got lost in that a little bit.
It's a crazy story.
What else can you tell us about it? And guys, we're talking about, this is a live about, genre fiction and fantasy and poetry, writing on Substack. I don't think we're going to have time to have one more person up. I got to head downtown for something, but any commentary?
Literally, it just kind of poured out of me. I had the very first paragraph running through my head, and I wrote that down. And I had no idea where I was going with the story at all. And so I was like as surprised when I got to the end as everybody else. Kind of like it just kind of developed that way as I was writing it. I kept going and like that's just what it developed into. It was really weird.
It's fantastic. All right. Well,
It's
hey,
fun.
guys, pick up Bathrobe Guy. Pick up Rebecca. Kimmy Wynn asks, a journey into accepting one's death. That's for you, Bathrobe Guy. If you want to take it. Kimmy Wynn asks, is it a journey into accepting one's death?
Sorry, what's up?
Oh, I was
Sorry, I
just
got to ask
saying.
a question real quick.
Kimmy Wynn says that she felt a journey into accepting one's death. That's all. I was just wondering. I wanted to leave the last words with you, if you wanted to comment on that.
I'm sorry you broke up. I caught part of what you said there.
Oh, no problem at all. Would that be like an example of journeying into a death?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it was kind of the idea of how we don't accept things at times, and we need to, and we run from it. And like her was just that voice kind of in your head that keeps you running from the situation, rather
Yeah.
than turn around and face it. It's like that shadow that pursues you, keeping you from being able to succeed at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining. It's been awesome and great, and I really appreciate all the readings from Rebecca and Bathrobe Guy. Make sure to follow everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely follow people. Everybody support
Marvelous.
everybody. It's great.
All right. Hey, thanks to Rebecca and to Bathrobe Guy. Much appreciated. I gotta get
Absolutely.
out of here.
All right. Have a great one. Stay
Take care.
entangled,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Stay entangled.